Dave Revsine, Gerry Dinardo, Howard Griffith here in Bloomington, Indiana, as we look back on our day with the Indiana Hoosiers. Biggest thing that stood out to you today?
Well, the quarterback situation, for this reason, the sooner they make the decision, obviously the better, not only because of the personnel, but because what the personnel does. If Trey Roberson is their quarterback, I think it significantly changes the style of their offense. So the sooner they get to their style through a personnel decision, the better.
And you mentioned that. What type of game do they want to call? I think ultimately that's going to determine it when you start to look at the quarterbacks that they have. Some of those guys, like Sutherland, wants to throw it downfield. He's going to take challenges. He's going to give his receivers opportunities to make plays. I think for me, it was really the crispness of the practice, just the way they flew around and got a lot done during the practice time. And that tells me when you're in your third year, the guys are buying in and they get it and they know what to expect.
You know, you mentioned third year. It's taken Kevin Wilson 3 years to develop their offense scheme and talent-wise. I suggest to you what's fair, he needs another 3 to develop his defense. I mean, this is literally a 6-year project just to get both offense and defense on the same level. And I think when that happens, they're going to be a good team.
And that is the biggest challenge with this team. As good as they were offensively last year, averaging more than 30 points per game, they were worse defensively. I mean, a team that really struggled to stop people, gave up far more plays of 10 yards or longer than anyone else in the Big Ten, over 200 such plays. Did you see signs that this defense could be better this year?
Yes, but not significantly better. They're better, but I worry about replacing Rapogel and Black, 2 defensive tackles. And if you look at their schedule, 3 of the games they have to win, Navy, Minnesota, and Purdue. All 3 of those teams, Howard, are going to attack the middle of the defense where they wish they had Black and Rapogel back. But they're not back. They have to replace those 2 defensive tackles with good players.
You know, I think one of the gauges of the barometers that we can watch as we go throughout this year is what happens on first down to this defense. If they're really able to stop and get people in second and long, third and long situations, then when they get there, I wonder where the pass rush is going to come from. But I think some of their problems last year is, yes, they physically were beat up a little bit, but they were giving up those big plays. And I think those are mental mistakes that you can eliminate by having your players obviously in the right position not to give up those plays. So now you got an opportunity to go out and run another play and maybe get a takeaway.
Yeah, which I think begs the question, how can the offense, which is the strong suit of this team, help the defense? The defense took more plays last year than any other defense in the conference. Indiana possessed the ball the least amount of any team in the Big Ten Conference. So the defense is not their strong suit, but they're playing more than their strong suit. So how can they marry those 2 units?
And this is the trade-off with the spread.
And I think one of the answers to that is you can't turn the ball over.
Don't put them in a bad spot.
Absolutely.
Right.
So in all offenses, nobody wants to turn the football over, but you just can't do it because you know that your defense is going to spend some time on the field. So it's almost like you're playing some offense, which means get that running game going and playing keep away a little bit.
What's realistic here? What would be a successful season in your mind, Howard?
Bowl game. I think a bowl game, you have to get to a bowl game and continue to build. When you talk about the 8 home games, Coach, you mentioned in the schedule, they've got to be able to take advantage. The last time they had those 8 home games, they weren't able to take advantage of that home schedule.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think 6 wins is a fair expectation. You know, could they come up 1 short? Could they come up 2 above? I think that's all possible. But again, the defense has to somehow show up better than they have the last couple of years.
Remember, 8 losses last year, but 4 of those losses by 4 or fewer points, and some of those games to elite teams. I mean, Ohio State, team that nobody beat last year. Indiana played them within a field goal. Michigan State, they lost to them by 4 points. So they were close last season. Now the question is, can they get over that hump?